I want to get into this whole Derrick Jaxn thing. And one thing that we can see for sure, certain, and two things is for sure, is that money does not make you a better person. It makes you more of what you already are. And this is what we seeing happen in the theme that's going on. That's why I call it super hoe. Because you're not just a hoe when you broke. When you just doing okay, you just a hoe. But when you get money, you start joining underground cults and party scenes and fumbling the money like Patrice Colors over with Black Lives Matters. And then you start turning into Derrick Jaxn. I don't want to waste no time. I want to get into this because I don't know how long this is going to take for me to be able to break down. So I definitely want to get into this and mine this out because I meant to mine it out yesterday, but we wound up getting something else that was going to be awesome as a result of it. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. I'm going to scrub through and see what we got going on.
What did I get myself into, right? And now I'm practicing toxicity, right? I'm practicing toxic behavior and cycles with holding things in, not talking about it, and then either being passive aggressive or just super aggressive, but nothing in between. And then he has no idea what's going on because he doesn't know what I'm freaking out about.
And what you done seen,
right.
What prompted you to start looking through his phone?
I would always get like a feeling, or he would touch me different, right? So after most rape victims are very sensitive to touch. And so any sign of him touching me, any type of, any different, I'm like, there has to be somebody else. There has to be,
You're
right?
talking about with a change of a touch.
Women's intuition is incredibly dangerous, ladies and gentlemen, because a lot of times it'd be dead fucking accurate. It'd be so on. I hate to say this and I hate to admit it, but Derrick Jaxn already fucked it up for everybody as far as not getting his household in order. Now she on here telling all of the secrets. Now women gonna be going through their man's phones. Fellas, go ahead and get your phone cleaned up after you before this video is over. Let's go ahead and go through, scrub through, get your phone cleaned up. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. It ain't no point in even Derrick fucked it up for every last one of y'all that's fumbling the bag. Let's get unfumbled. Let's get focused. Derrick Jaxn, she over here looking good. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I was telling y'all this yesterday. The Glam Squad did a number on her. She's communicating effectively. She not spitting no lyrics like she rapping like she was on social media a little bit ago, and it's fucked up out here. So, okay, all right, let's get into it. I'm gonna be reading super chat shortly. Shout out to Thomas Coiler.
The change of a touch, there has to be, right? And so I would go snooping around because I'm a snooper.
I never imagined.
All right, let me fast forward it.
You know, and social media had this way of trying to make you look like you crazy.
Yes.
And when I met you, I talked to you, I was like, this girl, not only is she not crazy, she's absolutely brilliant. So
wow.
Okay, the simping is getting on a whole nother level. It's one thing to say, okay, she's not crazy because I had a conversation with her. But boy, the buttering up, I get it. He got to get the good information in order to be able to butter up, and so he gonna do simp times 1,000. Let's cut it out though, fam.
Wow, what was that? What was that about?
Well, I think the world did not see me for so many years, so they have nothing to go off of.
Facts.
And so they're seeing me for the first time when all of this crazy stuff is going on, and then I'm sitting up here talking about.
She actually looks really good. I'm gonna be real. Like, she really looks good right here. I don't know if it's the makeup. I don't know what it is, but how she was looking before when she had that helmet of righteousness on versus what it is she got going on right now is different. Maybe she got a new man. I don't know.
Jesus. Talking about a helmet of salvation. So it's like, oh, she has lost her mind. She is
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Right. And I'm like, I'm saying I have a sound mind, and I know what's going on right now because I've been delving into the word. I'm discerning the time that I'm in from a spiritual state, and now I'm trying to protect what sanity I do have with the word of God. So I think that's kind of what fueled all of that. They're trying to get a feel for who I am.
But you haven't always been a Christian.
No.
I want to take an opportunity to get to know you before we talk about what everybody wants to know, because like I said, I want to provide this opportunity for us to get to know you.
I'm not really want to get to know you. I want to get through this. Let me scrub through and see if we can get through the. Shout out to Virgo Life. Let me scrub through this.
You, Danae.
Sometimes clearly to my own detriment. Just the relationship that I had with my father. So she was practicing and I was eating. I still kind of include that in childhood trauma, you know, in the basement screaming with over the music and all of that. So
how'd you process that? Did you tell anybody?
I did not process it without even acknowledging, dealing with the rape. I pretended like it never even happened. I got my black stripe going to Tuskegee and being in this relationship. So
and so how did it transition from you being his tutor to him tutoring you in some things?
That is good. That's good. I got schooled, okay, for years.
So wait a minute. She was his tutor? Let me back up a little bit.
Stripe. Going to.
You said, where all this swag coming from?
Right.
These guys.
I had a high school boyfriend.
Yeah.
And but it was I went to an all-white high school.
Okay.
So, okay, let's put this in some context. I went to all-white high school pretty much. There were some black people there, of course, but it was different than going to all-black college. So
oh yeah, the culture shock.
Culture shock, right? And so
you said, where all this swag coming from?
Right.
These guys.
I could tell that she went to an all-white high school. I can tell.
I don't even know what this means. Like, I don't know what that is. You know, it's different in a more diverse or lack of diverse school. And so it was an adjustment all around. And so I had to get used to that because he introduced me to a whole new world of black culture. I got my black stripe going to
yeah, that laugh is kind of annoying. I'm trying to get to the good parts.
And being in this relationship. So
and so how did it transition from you being his tutor to him tutoring you in some things?
That is good. That's good. I got schooled, okay, for years. No. After the tutoring, we were having conversations nearly daily. Like the first 3 days, it felt like I know him for my whole life.
Yeah.
And literally, we were on the phone, sleeping on the phone, like those first 3 days, having all kinds of conversations. And it was like, oh my gosh, I've known you all my life. This is a fairy tale. I love you. You know, like, when are we getting married and having kids? Like, it was all of that.
Were you thinking this or were you saying this?
All of the
y'all were talking about marriage and stuff.
Not necessarily marriage, but it was definitely
having
like
kids.
I like you. Like I've known you my whole life. This is so
Reading Chupa Chat shortly.
Easy.
Yeah.
Like, where have you been?
Yeah.
You know, this is right here in this
19
moment.
years old.
Yes.
Where have you been all my life?
Exactly.
All the
So they're 19 years old. Apparently, she was his tutor, so he was the dummy. And so now because if you know anything about how it was back then, I'm assuming this is the early 2000s, maybe late 90s, early 2000s. You existed in a space where I remember falling asleep on the phone and kicking it, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of babbing or whatever like that. It's different now to where a lot of people is just caught up on Instagram and all of that, and they just texting. The majority of their conversations are texting, but you had to talk to somebody. And so I can understand what it is that she's communicating right now.
19 years of my existence.
Exactly. All 19 years of my life. I miss you. I loved you. This is what, you know, and so it was great. It's pure ecstasy. And so from there, we spent pretty much every day together. And about 1 month after just meeting, he asked me to be his girlfriend on Valentine's Day. So that was like our unofficial anniversary for years. He had this big old heart and he had his shirt off and he was like,
oh,
can you be my girl?
He had his shirt.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yes. He was fine too. I was like, yes, Danae, look at you. Everybody thought you were a nerd, but here you go.
That's what I'm about to say. What were people thinking? Here you were, this quiet little nerdy girl that you said that had pimples all over your face, but then you get the
Doesn't match.
You get the sexy. What did he play football?
He
or
did
anything?
play football.
So you got the sexy jock. What was that about?
Fire. Like for me, that's what I was thinking. Like, listen, Danae, you have upgraded. You are coming into it, right? And so I think there was a lot of hatred overall.
Yeah.
You know, most people didn't say a whole lot, but I think there's a lot of hatred about it. And then it's like, it doesn't match because he is more outgoing and personable. And I'm just like, you know,
Let me see if I can fast forward.
Literally awkward. You know, we were in love after 3 days. So seriously. And
So you weren't chubby no more in college, huh?
I still had a little bit of chub. I was in a marching band for a little bit. So I had slimmed down a little bit there, but I still had a little bit of weight on me, but it was proportion.
9 years.
Yes. We got married 9 years later.
9 years later.
So it's a long time.
That's a long time. But it makes sense when you start off at 19.
Yes.
You know, so you got married around 28.
Yes.
About 28.
Yep,
that's how old I was when I got married. So you're 28 years old, and y'all were in a committed relationship. Were there any infidelity or cheating during that 9 years?
Oh, man. Here we go. Everything is going off the rails now. Everything is going off the rails now. It's about to go. It's about to go left right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Can't really say commitment is a big word. So let's tone that down a little bit. Commitment is a big word.
Well, we got to tone the word commitment down.
We do.
Y'all's in a relationship.
We got to tone it all the way down.
Okay, we're going to tone it down to Danae. What we're going to call it?
So we're going to call it a situationship.
Y'all was in a situation.
We was in a situationship for a long time.
So y'all never, when after 3 days in love, y'all didn't say, let's make
He got to let her talk. Just let her get her thoughts off for 1 second.
Official?
We were technically official, but there was a lot of on and offs agains, right? In that. So that's why I say when we talk about commitment, we got to tone it all the way down. We got to go back to the elementary.
This giggling is killing me, man.
Level of the word and start at the beginning.
Yeah, start at the beginning.
Okay. And yes, there was commitment at times. At times, but there was a lot of on and off again. Okay, and through college, and even there were people involved, and there had already been other people involved, even in college, right? And so,
be specific. Other people. What you mean?
Other women. There was.
Did you ever have other guys that you were dating?
In college, there was a guy, Fabian, who I was talking.
Not Fabian. Oh shit! Now we about to be finding Fabian. You can't be. I don't know if she's social media trained or not, but you can't be sitting here saying people's real names. Not after everything that didn't happen and how it's playing out. She said it was a guy named Fabian. I mean, she was still thinking about him.
Name, you done said the man's name. Fabian, mind his own business.
Listen,
watching the Dear Future White podcast.
He's not. He is no longer with us, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. God rest his soul.
Yes, and so in college there was that, but it wasn't necessarily a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. I actually had used him to I used him to set Derrick up because I was tired of him being with all these girls and catching him and going through his phone and watching him do all of his stuff with these girls. And I was working with this guy, and I was like, listen, I need you to help me to get him.
Dog. So I'm kind of like on the fence here. Because on one hand, she was green, right? She came from a space where she had never even been privileged enough to be with a certain type of dude. But then on the other hand, I gotta applaud her for her honesty, and then at the same time, you gotta hold her accountable. Because if he was out here fucking around the whole time since day one, the only thing that's different is the fact that he's being outed publicly. So, all right. So let's bring it in for a second, right? Basically, what she's saying is that Derrick Jaxn has been a fraud since day one. She holding him accountable and throwing him under the bus without even trying, right? And I don't know if this is intentional or what, but she's basically saying, listen, from day one when Derrick Jaxn started getting on here talking about fuck boys and throwing black men under the bus and all of this other type of stuff, Derrick Jaxn been a fuck boy. He been the very thing that he been describing the entire time. Derrick Jaxn, one of his favorite words is, and when a man is a narcissist, he don't necessarily care for you, right? And so she basically says, listen, the guy that y'all got from the very, very basic, the one that finessed these women, listen. As smart as y'all are some of the dumbest motherfuckers on the face of the earth. And I don't care about your feelings. You know I'm an equal accountability partner. So I just got to say it from the beginning. Y'all are some of the smartest, dumbest motherfuckers that I've ever heard in my entire life. Y'all can't be this dumb. Women's intuition works for everything except for the dude that's finessing y'all and getting y'all to buy their fucking books. Steve Harvey, Derrick Jaxn, who else? Milli Vanilli, I don't know. I just can't believe that y'all this incompetent. You can't be this dumb to where you can't see clearly that this nigga was finessing y'all. Every black man on the face of the earth was like, man, I can't believe y'all rocking with this simp. This nigga is finessing y'all since day one. She's confirming it. She even rolled with it and allowed herself to continue to get finessed even while she's still married this dude. Okay, let's continue.
And back, and I want to set this up. We're going to make it look like we're, this great couple. Like I'm cheating over here and all this. So he helped me. He was, he did. And
So what you do? So how'd y'all set it up?
so
What y'all
we had
do?
the same car. We had the same type of car, which was a Subaru, one of those like Fast and the Furious type of cars.
How you get one of those? You had some little money growing up.
Listen, my uncle is a car guy.
Okay.
And so he gave me a car because I was a straight A student, clearly. Look at my pimples and my straight A's, right? And so he gave me a car.
Subaru. She was fly on campus.
I had a 2000 Subaru Impreza, and we
Yeah. I
had,
don't care about that.
It was blue. About it, and I wanted him to because I wanted him to pay.
You want him to be jealous?
I wanted him to. Like I've sat there and watched. Literally looked through his phone and watched him have sex with other girls
On the phone.
on the phone. Like I literally watched it. And so that was soul crushing, at that time. This is well before we're married, but I've seen it multiple times, multiple girls, several. This is just in college. We're not talking even about marriage.
After that. Yeah, we're going to get there in a little bit. We're going to talk about straight college. How did we get here?
So there was a lot of anger and bitterness, and I never once really confronted him about it. I always kind of like sat on it and.
Okay, so how am I supposed... How am I supposed to actually feel sorry for her when she actually put herself in a position? When she put herself in a... Okay, so she caught him. She's looked at multiple different videos. She never confronted him. And she was actually looking at him fucking on different chicks all before they got married. So the nigga wasn't smooth. He wasn't quick with it. He never had to hide nothing. He been doing what he been doing the whole time. So you chose this crazy nigga. And I mean, she ain't making no excuses for it, so it ain't really nothing to hold her accountable for, because it ain't like she making excuses. But then I'm just saying, this is the behavior that women every single day exhibit. This is the behavior that women every single... Okay, so you chose this cornball, right? You chose the dude that is fucking on a bunch of different chicks and all of this other type of stuff, right? I get it. Why you surprised? Why you got the helmet of righteousness on? You still had kids with him. You still married him. You still rocked with him. You could have went with the nerd. You could have went with the dude that was low-key. You could have rocked out with Fabian and got you an insurance payout. Who knows? But you used Fabian and set Fabian up in order to make Derrick jealous, and now you finding yourself sitting on some dude's couch that's giggling relentlessly. How can I sit here and feel sorry for you when you knew before you got married what you was getting into when you sat on that jump? You never required anything of him, and so why would he exhibit any different behavior than what it was that he was doing before he got married to you? This is what he was. He never changed. That's the one thing that I can give Derrick credit for, is that he never changed. He never switched up the game. He been this way since day one. Over the last however many years that they've been married, he never changed. She said they dated for 9 years, or they was with each other for 9 years. He never changed. He never switched up. That mean that y'all bad. Y'all don't know how to pick. Y'all running in the victim Olympics. You chose to rock out with a dude. He didn't do you dirty. He did you the way that he was doing it before he ever married you. Now y'all got me looking like a whole idiot for even shooting him some bail at the fact that she chose wrong. God showed her, and she said, okay, no, I'm still gonna go with this option over here. Okay, this is what you get then.
Just buried it. I feel like now I'm looking back on it, it was a fear of rejection.
Yeah.
And abandonment.
Because you felt like if you spoke up, he was going to leave.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I don't want him to leave me. Like, you
Yep.
know, so I have to just take this. But then at the same time, it was creating this deep-seated hatred and resentment and spitefulness. And so here I go, setting him up. And it worked.
Fabian.
It didn't work because he wound up doing the same thing, and he been doing the same thing the entire time. He got a infatuation and a unquenched thirst for everything that she wanted, that he been doing for the entire time. And what difference do it make, though? But see, this is more honestly now, because see, I thought that she was exposing him, but in reality, what she's exposing is the nature of the majority of black women. She is the poster child for the thing that we talk about every single day. She was a nerd. Admittedly, she say she was green. She was a nerd. She had no business being with this dude in the first place. She was a nerd. And instead of rolling with the nerds that actually was willing to roll with her, she subjected herself to the thing that was worse for her voluntarily because she knew better. She's seen it. She watched it. She's looking at it happen inside of his phone way before they got married, and y'all still chose to go wrong. And then you're going to come back, and I'm not even talking about her specifically, but we see this happen all the time with women. And now y'all going to come back. We're going to see y'all on Instagram. We're going to see y'all on YouTube, and we're going to see y'all on Clubhouse and TikTok talking about how men ain't shit. No, it's your inability to choose correctly. You continue to choose the worst people for you. And guess what? It's going to be women that come after you that still choose to rock with him, even though his laundry is out in the street. It ain't going to make no difference. This make y'all look bad. This ain't even making Derrick look bad. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of women going to make excuses. They're going to react to this and they're going to say, yeah, Derrick was a fuckboy or whatever. No, Derrick was what Derrick was way before he met her, and she knew it, and she still rocked with him. You the dummies. Ladies, y'all the dummies. Y'all keep skipping over the dude that's the best for you in order to go with the dude that already showed you who he was, and now you acting like he a bad guy. No, you chose the bad guy. You wanted Tupac in a suit. You wanted Tupac in a suit, and you got the thing that was closest to it that you can get, which was Derrick Jaxn, and now this is what we looking at.
Fabian, so how'd y'all set it up?
So we would be at work conspiring, and there's actually a group of us, all right? We would be at work conspiring.
I don't care how she set it up.
I'm coming over, like, confess to setting him up into, like, way... I don't know what he really caught me doing. He never really told me what he caught me doing, but I know that he's at least seen us doing some racing. I know he's seen us maybe like going to like a meetup point and all of that. So
he never confronted you about that and was like, I know you cheating on me with Fabian.
Not in college. No, we're in marriage when we were dealing with unpacking that. And then he was like, you were cheating on your husband. And I was like, okay. Okay. Maybe I was emotionally cheating. Okay, I'll give you that. In college, 9 years before we ever got married. So I didn't cheat on my husband, but it was like, no, you cheated on your husband while we're in marriage. I'm like, no, you can't use that rape trauma.
Yep.
And I didn't realize the power of not speaking about the rape trauma until...
Prompted you to start looking through his phone?
I would always get like a feeling, or he would touch me different, right? So after most rape victims are very sensitive.
So now she's using the whole rape victim thing um, in order to try to say that she was able to identify certain characteristics based off of how it is that she was treated when she allegedly got touched on, or whatever it is that she says happening to her. But let's continue to watch it. Let's see what she got to say.
Sensitive to touch. And so any sign of him touching me, any type of any different, I'm like, there has to be somebody else. There has to be,
You're
right?
talking about with a change of a touch.
With a change of a touch. There has to be, right? And so I would go snooping around because I'm a snooper. And when you seek, you shall find. That is
It's not that she was going snooping around because she was a snooper. She's snooping around because she already knew who he was, and she was just looking to confirm what she already knew and what she already thought. Because it's not no different. What is there to snoop around for when you already know exactly what it is that you're getting, because that's what you signed up for? You knew who he was in college. For 9 years he been doing this, and so you think that he gonna change his behavior just because he married you. You didn't snoop around because you a snooper. You snooped around because you knew who it was that you was dealing with, because that's what you signed up for, man.
a true biblical verse.
Why is he giggling so much?
So if you don't believe in the word of God, listen, let me tell you, when you seek, you will find. And when you find, you have to know what to do.
And what's so bad about it? People will find something, but then they won't do nothing about it.
Exactly.
Because they weren't prepared to leave.
And that was me.
You was like, I'm gonna find it, I'm gonna bust them, and then like, what you gonna do? Because you're not gonna even tell them that you busted
I
them.
did absolutely nothing. Sit there, cry, and okay, this is how I'm gonna get a little bit serious, right? Okay, I would seek and I would find. I would sit in closets and cry, and I would be in there wanting him to find me in the closet crying. And when he would come and find me in the closet crying, then I would say, I'm just crying because I miss my dad. I would blame it on something else. And they would always mostly be about my dad. Like, oh, I'm crying. But it's really because I just sat here and watched you have sex with, or, right? So
She throwing out the whole. He better than me, because I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. He better than me. I know they bleeping out the names. I would have bleeped it out with regard to the YouTube version, but the Patreon members will be getting the exclusive. The Patreon members, they will be getting the exclusive. But let's continue. This chick is throwing out names.
No, Danae, that ain't no real people name, is it? I don't want you throwing people's name out here.
okay.
Why is he? What is so giggly about this guy? Why is he so goofy?
So we're just gonna keep on going.
We're gonna make fake names up. Okay,
We're gonna making all kinds of fake names up.
Okay, thank you.
Right now. All fake. All fake names.
All fake names.
Okay. So
you will watch him have sex with Sue.
Yeah, and Sue and Jane and Jade and Sheila. That's a fake name.
About to go make me get some liquor up in this. Why is it so goofy? Jesus. Good grief. About to make me start drinking.
Right? I don't know.
That's a fake name. That's a fake name. That's not a real person.
Seriously though, I would sit there and watch that, especially in college. I would literally sit in closets, or I would sit on the side of the dresser and be crying, and I would be there, and I would stay there in that space until he came back, from wherever he was, and he could find me, and then he can console me. But he didn't really know he was consoling me about his indiscretion as opposed to the lie that I told him.
Right.
Right. And so all of that is toxic behavior. And I had to go back and really deal with that later on once I started to realize that, hey, Janae, you are not well. You are not okay. And really deal with why I was doing that and unpack it. So.
And so on again, off again, situationship.
Here's the thing that I don't understand, yo. And maybe this is maybe this is just me. And this is the thing that I'm very, very confused about. Why is Derrick Jaxn recording all of his encounters with all of these women? Why are y'all compiling evidence against yourselves? Man, both of them was dumb. This ain't nothing but just a super toxic situation that ain't good for nobody. She over there knowing who he is, still trying to rock out with a dude that she know ain't no good for him. From the very beginning, he let her know that she wasn't no good for him, or he wasn't no good for her. This dude over there with self-incriminating evidence, recording himself having phone. Hold on, wait. Check this out. He recording himself having sex with chicks, and then leaving his phone available for her to be able to easily get in order to see it. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? How is she able to get into your phone multiple times ever since y'all was in college all the way up until today to be able to see what the hell is going on in your phone? These people are psychopaths, bro. These people are true psychopaths.
Commitment, lack thereof. 9 years, you go through this, and you said right before y'all got married or got engaged, y'all wasn't even together. Please help me understand that.
Yeah. So before we moved to Atlanta, we were off. We got off because he was dealing with some girls and things like that, and it was a.
So he dealing with more girls, and he not rocking with you, and you still gonna subject yourself to it. This is who you picked.
Issue, and at that point I was very like hostile and all that towards him, just like, I'm not gonna deal with this, and you're a, F boy and all these things.
Yeah.
Right. I had some different kind of choice words and language at that time. And then the Lord saved me, my mouth. Thank God for.
He saved your mouth, but he didn't save you from. Never mind. Let me continue. It's so much giggle in this. I don't know how much more I can take today. I might leave the rest of this reaction for the rest of y'all other YouTubers, because I have a very low very low tolerance level. And don't get me wrong, I like to laugh during interviews too, but not at women that's telling me a serious situation that's not intentionally meant to be a joke. Good Jesus.
For deliverance.
I think a lot of people give you a pass on whatever word you decide to use back then.
But no, at that time I had asked him, I was like, do you believe the things that you're saying, right? Because this is at the beginning of his career really like taking off. And I'm like, do you believe the things that you're saying? And it really caused a rift. And so we were off. And so that time that we were off, we were still messing
because
around.
You questioned whether or not he believed that which he was sharing with the masses.
Just let her rock. Just let her talk. Just let her rock, fam, before I have to take one sip.
On avoiding F boys and that type of stuff, y'all fell out because you asked him if he truly believed what he was saying?
I asked him that, yes. It was a big thing, and we did fall out, along with the fact that there was actually other girls at the time. And so it was just all too much. And so we end up ending that, and then we both end up moving to Atlanta, right? From there.
How y'all keep moving to the same place?
Soul tie. Listen, people underestimate the power of a soul tie.
No. I'm not going for it. That's not a soul tie. That is called digmatized. Okay? Listen. Women can put whatever words they want on it. They could jump off the bridge. They could say soul tie, trauma bonding, all of this other type of stuff. It's called being digmatized. That's all it is. That ain't no soul tie. That's you um, wanting to have that D, and you moving a certain type of way as a result of it. And that's what she rolling with. This ain't a soul tie. Soul ties, huh? No, this is not soul plane. Let me see if I can
tie,
flip it.
Yep.
and it's a soul tie, and I had no idea what that was at the time, and neither did he, right? And
So it was like, who would move there first? Did you find yourself following after him, or just?
no. So we had actually planned to move there prior to, because we were living in Raleigh, North Carolina at the time. We had already planned to move there, but there was so much. I had caught him with some other girls. The girl
I'm reading super chat shortly, y'all.
actually reached out to me, sent me their conversations and their pictures and all this stuff, and I was freaking out on him.
Oh my God. This chick had more evidence than the FBI. She got more evidence than the law would ever allow, and then she gonna still get married to him and follow him over to Atlanta. Okay. I see what we dealing with. I should have watched this before I did my live stream last night. I would have had a completely different narrative.
And then we were like, okay, this has to end. So we had already planned
So
to
at
move.
this time, you were
It
what,
was already
27? 20?
we were early 20s. Yeah, so about 24,
Okay, let me see if
25.
I can scrub through this.
The plans were still on to move. I had already such is gonna be rolling through about, an hour
Yeah.
and a half later.
Yeah.
And sometimes we went a little bit longer, so literally passing each other on the stairs, like out the door. All right, have fun, your shift. And you got to figure out what you're doing with your life. You
Yeah.
are this mom, and I was like, listen, I don't have another 7 years to give him. I'm trying to figure this out. And like, I want to be with him. I want to do this, but I don't have another 7 years to give him. So he has to figure out what he wants to do. And then shortly after that, I'm getting a call from my mom, and she's like, I just got a call from Derrick asking me for your hand in marriage. I thought you.
So she guilted him into marriage. All right. So that's the translation. The mom, his mom, she told his mom. His mom had a talk with her, or a talk with him. He came to the conclusion that this is probably a good chick to have kids with. He did the finesse and called her mom and said, hey, because she didn't have a father in her life at the time, and said, hey, I want to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage. The mom called her, and then she got excited and forgot about all of the chicks that he was fucking prior to this whole situation. Okay? Summary. I'm giving y'all the cliff notes.
You were not in a relationship. I was like, we're not. We're doing this co-parenting thing, And she was like, okay, so what are you gonna do? And so I actually knew about the engagement, which she didn't know about, but I actually knew about the engagement and all that because my mom told me about it. She was asking me these questions because she was like, I thought you weren't in a relationship. And I'm like,
She had 3 mishmortions before they got married. So they wasn't using rubbers. He was dicking down other chicks. Yo, this is just quite possibly one of the most toxic stories. I think Derrick Jaxn quite possibly could be the Pookie of the year. Derrick Jaxn is, I don't know if I should call him the king finesser or what. Derrick Jaxn need to pivot and write a book or start creating content to show how he finessed. Derrick Jaxn is the real life coach for a lot of these guys that don't have the game to be able to get multiple different women. I'm going to have to call Rita, see if we can get Derrick Jaxn on the line and have an interview of how it is that he's able to finesse so effectively.
we're not. And so I had to figure out, okay, he's being serious. He called my mom.
Did that make you excited? How'd
It
you
did.
feel?
I was so excited because I'm like, he called my mom. My mom and him, like, they don't
They don't mess with each other.
know. And so he humbled himself. He called my mom and asked for my hand in marriage. She's serious about me. It's meant to be. Absolutely. So excited. And so, yes, I was so excited about
meant
it.
to be.
Yes, he called my mom. He don't even know what that means, right? Either going back to Denver or I'm coming to stay with you. I want you to be here for the baby's birth. And it was right around the time that she was going to be born. So we need to figure this out. So I ended up moving in basically with him. in the house that he was in. And we never really.
I will give them. I will pay them $10,000 a piece to come and kick it with me on a black couch inside of the room to do an interview with both of them. I probably have to give him a little bit more. I give him 20,000. I give him 20,000 for the rights to their story. Well, I give him 20. I give her 10 for the rights to their story, in order to be able to come over and do a round table. I think we could recoup that. Y'all think we could recoup that? I think we could recoup that.
Officially said like we're back together.
To get them both in the room together.
It was just like implied we're back together, you know? So there's never a conversation like, yes, we're doing
We
this.
go together, circle yes or no.
It was just like
When it cometh in the morning,
all
you
the
thought
joy.
that was your morning.
All the joy. Do you know the bragging that I did? Mrs.
My man.
Mrs. Jackson. Okay, Mrs. Jackson. Okay, if you're nasty. That was my thought. Almost gave me like this false sense of confidence.
If I give him 100 G's, then that means that I get the rights to his whole life story. Like I get to do the Netflix documentary series. He got to narrate it and all of that.
Accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
And so, but you couldn't tell me that at the time. So.
And at the time, we put this in perspective. You're about what, 28,
yeah.
27?
Yeah, I was like, right. I feel a lot of shame and blaming in communicating. Little desk and was like, hey, I need to change trainers. And then the trainer was like, well, did I do something wrong? Whatever. Can we have a conversation? I was like, there's nothing that you did wrong. It's just I got to do what I need to do, and I need a woman. And so then I got another trainer, Serena, and she got my whole life together after that. But yes, that became the focus. There was a lot of issues that came from that, and pretty much triggered the toxic behavior in him, pretty much. Triggered the toxic behavior in him to where now we have all these things going on in our marriage. So,
such as you said, triggered what? You said that triggered what? To accuse you of infidelity, to give him a pass to cheat on you?
Essentially. Like, so me bringing up all these things and then him feeling or accusing me of having this relationship with the trainer, which I did not have, but allowed him basically like, okay, I'm being like in his mind, I'm being disrespectful, I'm being unappreciative. He's done all this changing and actually asked for me to marry him, and here I go, just bringing up all this stuff from the past, and
would you say he was on his best behavior during that time?
Define best behavior. Okay. So if we're talking about
Gotta stop giggling, family. We gotta have a serious conversation at some point in this whole thing. We gotta have a serious conversation because this junk is draining, bro. Have y'all ever seen an interview that actually takes your energy away and it drains you? Because it's a possibility that he probably changed once he got married, and then once he seen that disrespect happening with the trainer, he was like, okay, fuck it. Full blown DJ is back in the building.
Okay. Yeah, so we have to define best behavior.
Okay, we're going to define it as not messing with other women at this point.
Okay, we're going to have to define that too. Okay, so listen. Okay, I'll put it this way. Were there women that he had still had contact with in some way, that he's had a sexual relationship with or some sort? Those people were always there. He was always constantly having at least a minimum a dialogue with them. Okay. Like if they were friends.
And was it discussed that he would no longer have those conversations with people in whom he had sexual relationships with?
No, so that wasn't discussed until after I left the marriage for 8 months. That wasn't discussed until after that. So, but going into marriage, no, there was not really a dialogue about like, hey, all these people that you've had a relationship with or whatever in the past, like all of them need to cut out. You ain't no friends. There was no dialogue about that. I didn't have any boundaries, right, or barriers. I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even know what a boundary was. Exactly. Like, what is that? I didn't have any standard, or like, I didn't even know that was a thing that you can actually request or not even request.
This is a lie. This is all cap and it's all a lie. How do you not know that you can make a request to not have your dude kicking with other chicks on the side. So it sounds like, I'm gonna be honest with you. It sounds like that he was no different than who she thought that he was when she married him, and she never had any kind of boundaries or requests for him to do anything different than how it was that he was operating in the first place. It sounded like he actually had full throttle availability of being able to do what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. And then once he blew up on the internet, or she started becoming more visible as a result of it, and this dumbass decided to bring her into the video as far as making her wear that helmet of righteousness and then step on the scene, that's when everything imploded. Because if they've been rocking, come on, man, listen. If they've been rocking for the entire time since they first met in their early 20s and 19 years old. She said she tutored them and they was 19 years old, right? And if this is the life that they've been living the entire time, including him staying in contact with and rocking out with all of these other chicks, you can't tell me that the change then started to happen, or you getting fed up happened as a result of some aha moment that came later in the relationship. You was watching on his phone him fucking chicks the entire time that he was with you. So now I'm supposed to believe that this dude is not anything other than what he presented himself to be. It's just that we all found out and it came out into the general public. But this is who he was. He's the king. A KDJ version. You know how they say the King James version of the Bible? He's the King Derrick Jaxn version of what's happening. Derrick Jaxn actually might be the ultimate boss, the last boss on the game, the final in his final form. I don't even know if Derrick Jaxn has achieved his final form yet. I'm almost inclined to think that and feel sorry for Derrick. Hold on. Listen. I can't take any more giggling. Maybe we'll continue this tomorrow. Let me substantiate my argument, and then I'm gonna read the super chats. Okay, I'm gonna read the super chats. Just roll with me for 1 second, y'all. 1 second. I'm inclined to think that Derrick Jaxn might be the victim here. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out, ladies and gentlemen, okay? She the only person that switched up here. Based off of what I'm hearing communicated, listen, I might have to shoot Derrick some bail. I can't judge him in this negative way. Based off of what I just heard communicated to me, I can't judge Derrick and look at him in the lens that the rest of, I got to finish the video? All right. Y'all making me finish the video. Okay, let me come back to the video. Y'all determined to make me suffer in this whole situation, huh? All right. Because right now, I'm on Derrick's side. I'm just going to tell y'all. Right now, based off of what I hear happening right now, I'm on Derrick's side.
What did I get myself
into?
into?
So let me fast forward.
This is not okay, and I feel some type of way about it, but it wasn't in a healthy way. I could have done it a lot better than what I did. But there was that, and then with that, it was like, you're insecure. You know, I have to do business. These are business people. I built these relationships. I'm like, well, nobody told you to mix business and pleasure. So if you have business with them, that means, guess what? You need to cut all business ties. This is not a relationship that you can have, right? And so that caused a lot of just friction, and it became, you know, I'm insecure, I'm unhealed, you know, people change, but I need to figure out my own stuff, which, I mean, those things were true. I was insecure. I did need to figure out some things like within myself to be more secure and at least to come to him assertively and be able to communicate in a more healthy manner. But it still did not pacify or negate the fact that these conversations in these relationships should not be existing. So there was both of those dynamics happening at the same time, and I didn't have the words or the tools to be able to really navigate that the best way that I could have.
So to be clear, at this point, what year are we talking about? Year 1 or 2?
This is the first.
So the
couple
first year of
months,
marriage,
first year
first
of
couple of
marriage.
months, first couple of months of
So the first couple months of marriage, he doing a thing that he already had been doing the entire time. All right? Because she been watching videos of him fucking on chicks and all that other type of stuff. Okay, cool.
you hadn't caught him. No more videos in his phone sleeping with nobody. Nobody sending you videos and pictures that he had been cheating on you. Just inappropriate conversations.
Inappropriate conversations at this point. A lot of them. And so, I mean, there were so many to where I'm coming off of just having a baby, right? Or having our second child. I had severe postpartum actually with both children. So just think of all the trauma that where I'm transformed into more than conversations. And I didn't find out about it though until, like months later. But that is around the time where those conversations became more than conversations again and started to be physical things. So
we're going to stop right now and we're going to come back. We're going to come back tomorrow. Being adopted.
Okay, what is it that I missed here? I'll review part 2 tomorrow when I'm in LA. I don't have any problem with reviewing part 2 tomorrow and going over that part. But I'm trying to figure out, what did I miss here? What is it that y'all wanted me to see? Because I know that they released part 2 today or whatever like that. So what is it that I missed? What did I miss? Somebody in the chat tell me what I missed. I'm about to read Super Chat shortly. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm inclined to think that Derrick might be the victim here. Derrick might be the victim here. Why is Derrick the victim? Why is Derrick the victim? No, Derrick is not a master manipulator. I see y'all in the chat. Y'all want to throw these wild assumptions and all of this other type of stuff. And we can break down the second half of the interview tomorrow. But y'all saying that Derrick Jaxn is the master manipulator. I think that Derrick is the victim here. I think it's the victim. Because what you're now seeing is she the one that switched up. She's the one that switched up. Okay, listen, I tell you what. If I'm off, I'm going to do this. I never do this on a Thursday. I never do this on a Thursday. If I'm off, tell me where. Ladies only. Ladies only. If you disagree with me or you think that I'm off, I'm making this available for you guys to be able to cam up and help me to understand where I'm off. Only if you disagree with me. Because I think that Derrick might be the victim here. I do. Isaiah, I think he's the victim. I think y'all simping in the chat. I think that Derrick is the victim. Because first of all, I'm going to tell you why. Derrick was finessed into this marriage. Okay, now we're not going to absolve him from the responsibility of the fact that he was the one that proposed. But Derrick never switched up. Derrick was who he was from the very beginning. See, the problem and the thing that y'all want to remove yourself from, because y'all don't take responsibility. If a guy have a baby with a ratchet chick, we say, listen, we don't give a fuck, pay for your kid, family court, child support, you should have picked better. You the one that created it. Men take 100% responsibility for the situation. If he, based off of what she's communicating, showed herself, or he showed himself to be exactly who he was. From the very beginning, she was looking at videos of him fucking other chicks. she knew where she lined up and she knew where she stood in the whole situation, but she was in there based off of hope and status, because she said it. She says, yeah, I'm Miss Jackson and all of this other type of stuff and so on and so forth. And so if she stuck around, tried to make him jealous, got him back, manipulated it, the whole situation and everything like that, if that be the case, then how come we shouldn't hold her accountable for the manipulation that came with A, her getting him back when she never should have been with him in the first place, and then B, and again, I dropped the link in the chat for the ladies. Listen, help me to understand where I'm off. And then B, finessing him into marrying her when she never should have been with him in the first place, even though she knew exactly who it is that he was. And this is the thing that men keep telling y'all, because y'all so caught up in what you think happened to you instead of the situation that you put yourself in. And this is why I keep holding women accountable for their decisions. You can't say, I'm a grown woman, I bring my own stuff to the table. Black woman, hear me roar. We more intelligent than y'all. Our brains develop faster than y'all. We can pick our own decisions and make our own decisions. Okay, cool. Now you got the opportunity to do so. And then you pick a dude that you know is bad for you and you shouldn't be with him if that's not what you want, even though you never told him that that's not what you wanted in the first place. And then you marry him, have children by him, and then expect for him to switch up and change from anything that he was doing prior to him getting with you. And then she came into it, listen. She came into it with unhealed trauma. She specifically said that she came into the relationship with unhealed trauma. Whatever it was that happened to her before he ever got into the picture, she came into it looking to trauma bond with this nigga. She rode with him despite the fact that he told her and showed her exactly who he was, championed the idea, made him jealous to get him back, then got with him based off of her communicating with his mother, in which he then contacted her mother in order to ask for her hand in marriage. Still was never, ever any different than what it was that he was with her throughout the entirety of the 9 years before they ever got married. Deleted her own children and had abortions as a result of it. And then we supposed to look at him as the bad guy when she the one that put herself in a position to do so in the first place. So you came in with unhealed trauma. You never addressed it. When you caught him doing stuff that he wasn't supposed to do based off of what you now set your standards to be now, not based off of what it was then. Now I'm supposed to look at him as the bad guy. No, you never rocked with the nerds. You never rolled with the person that you were supposed to in the first place. You chose wrong. And so if we gonna give all women all of this power in order to truly be able to live in a purpose and do what they want to do, then how can I hold him 100% accountable for the decisions that she made? How can I hold him accountable for the decisions that he made? A lot of y'all chicks, y'all get with these rappers, you get with these ball players, you know what the fuck that their life is about. You know what you getting yourself into. You know what it is. You getting with the dude that every chick then already had. And now you expect for him to change or be different based off of what? Based off of what you think and what you stand for? Come on, man. This is why it's hard for me to have people running in the Victim Olympics, because you signed up for it. You signed up for it. You signed up for this life. This is what you put. This is what the position that you put yourself into. You want me to feel sorry for her, but the thing that I don't see is anybody feeling sorry for the man, because it's a strong possibility he's still gonna have to pay her. It's a strong possibility he's still gonna have to take care of her. It's a strong possibility that even though he the one that's still the same thing that he was in his early 20s, and since he was 19 years old and probably before that, he's still gonna have to give up a lot of money as a result of it. But I'm supposed to feel bad for Derrick. I'm supposed to feel bad for her when she's the one that's largely making the decision to be with a man that she was never supposed to be with in the first place. It's hard. I'm trying to find it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm off. I think that he finessed. He finessed y'all into buying his book. Y'all couldn't see through the whole thing. You couldn't see it. Help me to understand it. He finessed y'all into buying his book, but he certainly didn't finesse her because she knew exactly what she was getting herself into. Self-admitted, she knew exactly what she was getting herself into. Now tell me where I'm off. Tell me where I'm off. And I know why y'all feeling a certain type of way in the comments. I know why you feeling a certain type of way in the comments because you did the same thing. You rolled with the dude, and I know you did it because every time I talk to women, and I'm going to read the super chat shortly, every time I talk to women, and I say this, I say, you already know the man that you should have been with because you already left him. She had sex out of wedlock. She continued the trauma bond. She never even got herself together. She wasn't whole before she got into the relationship. She was dependent on him to be anything different, and she probably was influenced by people that were around him or the internet in order to try to, come on, man. Come on, bro. Every time I tell women that you probably passed up on the man that you were supposed to been with, even if they married, they be like, yeah, you right, Anton. You absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I passed up on the guy that I probably should have been with.